Hey, grade 9. So we have started Romeo and Juliet. I love it. Okay, so Shakespeare, and we started that today. Reminder that the Giver projects are due Friday. And we also talked about TED Talks today. I showed you my TED Talk that was recorded back in last June, if you want to review that, just to give you an idea of what a TED Talk could look like. And so I don't want you to spend a whole lot of time thinking about that right now, but kind of in the back of your mind, look up the information in the course outline. And of course, it wouldn't hurt to watch a TED Talk on the TED Talk websites just to see what they're like and how you can maybe do yours. You're looking at 3 to 10 minutes for your presentation there. You'll be doing a tombstone for Romeo and Juliet and around Act 3, and we don't have a whole lot of time to get that completed, so be sure that you're working on that as soon as possible. So there's no school on Thanksgiving Monday, and we do have there's a half day on the Thursday the 15th, but we do have our class, so you won't miss out there. And then October 26th, there's no school. So you only have 27, 28 for TED Talks, and we're done. Wow. Okay, so time management is going to be really crucial during the next little while. Okay, so we're going to go through the summary notes as we did today. And if you missed anything, you can certainly bring that up while we review, okay? Or ask those questions tomorrow in class. So Romeo and Juliet, and we did Prologue. And Prologue is an introduction and lets us know what's happening in this play, gives us a heads up. So not every Shakespeare play has a prologue, but this one does, just because the audience needs to know what's happening because there's a lot going on. So we find out the play takes place in Verona, Italy. We're just focusing on the highlighted section, just so you know. There are two households, Montague and Capulet, and both families are at each other's throat. Probably the best way to describe the two families would be something like mafia cartel families. They've been around for a long time. They have a lot of power and control in the city. And they've been disrupting the streets of Verona for the last, will become the 3 times in Act 1, Scene 1. So we have 2 lovers, which we're told about. Romeo of the Montagues, Juliet of the Capulets, and they meet, fall in love, get married in secret because they are from opposing families. And when they get married, they plan to exile themselves, separate themselves from their families. They don't want to be a part of this feud thing anymore. But unfortunately, tragedy strikes, and both children are lose their lives, and it's the only that brings the 2 families together. Through their deaths, the feud is over, and they plan to work together from now on. But it was a very high price to pay. Okay, so and they got to live with that for the rest of their lives. Act 1, Scene 1, as you can see, is in Roman numerals. So when you're referring to lines, please refer to Roman numerals. The only thing that's in numerical format would be the lines. So the fighting breaks out between Capulet supporters and Montague sympathizers. We talked about the difference between supporters and sympathizers, and talked about some of the things that in our world today where we have supporters and sympathizers. The prince intervenes, condemning the repeated violence and the third disturbance in recent weeks in Verona. He declares that both houses will meet with him to find a peaceful solution to the ongoing feud. And while all this stuff was happening, we find out that Romeo was not a part of it. He's got a crush on Rosaline, and so that's the only thing on his mind right now. Feud, not number 1 priority on for him. Act 1, Scene 2, we find out that Juliet's dad, Capulet, is planning an arranged marriage with Count Paris or County Paris, depending which version you have. And he wants to marry Juliet, okay? Because by marrying Juliet, he marries into the Capulet family. That elevates his status in society. And so Juliet's going to be used as part of a business arrangement. And she won't have a say in it. She doesn't have a say in it. And of course, then the Capulet name can be carried on through this engagement. Capulet invites Paris to the upcoming ball where he can meet Juliet, and so he's excited about that. A servant is asked to send out invitations for this party, but he doesn't. He's illiterate. He has an inability to read what's on the list, so he asks Romeo and Benvolio for help, not knowing who they are. And so he reads off a bunch of names and he goes, oh, there's a party. And my Rosalind is going to be there, and I'm going to be crashing this party big time. So they make the decision to crash the party later on. And we left off on this scene, Act 1, Scene 3. Lady Capulet, mother of Juliet. Even though biologically Lady Capulet is the mother, the nurse is more of a mother than Lady Capulet. And we'll find a little more about that later. Lady Capulet comes in and tells Juliet and the nurse that Count Paris is going to marry her. Oh, wow. Juliet's like, so she's not even thinking about marriage right now. And she says that to her mother, but her mother's like, you should not have those feelings. You should be happy that there's somebody that's there to marry you. And we found that person for you, so you should be happy about it. So just to appease her mother, she says, I will look to like. And I will agree to meet Paris at the ball. Okay, so good. She wants to marry for love, though, Juliet. And whether that's going to happen, we don't know yet. I know the prologue said she does marry for love, but at this stage in the play, we don't know yet. Okay, so that's where we left off today. And if you have any questions about those scenes, please let me know. Don't forget to get those summaries transferred to your binder. And reminder, Giver Friday, the projects in those 3 questions if you're doing major project or visual written and written, and your summaries as well. Okay, then get going on your tombstones and your TED Talks, and we're done. Okay, so if you have any questions, please let me know, and take care and be safe.